Maybe taking a deep inhale, opening up the mouth and doing a big exhale, audible exhale, HA sound. Very healing for the heart. Very good for decreasing our stress level, letting go of any built up of tension. Yay, good. And then we're just gonna, continue to scan the body, noticing how we're feeling in this moment, inviting the weight of your body to melt into the ground beneath you and settling into that support. And at the same time, we're going to find that sky hook at the crown of our head, softening our chin towards the front of the throat, softening through the whole spine as we allow ourselves to connect and lift upward. So there's a beautiful sense of alignment, rooting down, lifting up, and from this central channel, really just inviting there to be expansion in all directions. So we want to let the shoulders soften away from our ears, allow the elbows and the arms to be relaxed and heavy. When we do that, we can start to feel like our arms are a little bit heavier or a little bit longer, actually. So as we're settling in here, let's just float our hands off of our knees and just feel like the weight of the arms and begin to get a sense of the origin there of where our arm comes from, which is, that mid to upper back there where the shoulder blades, come together there on the upper back. Those are floating bones. And so we can really start to get a sense of how our arms are like our wings. And so as we lift and just kind of become comfortable with relaxed arms, we can start to feel a little bit more freedom in our neck and shoulders. So just lifting shoulders and releasing shoulders, kind of letting there be a wave as we explore the weight of our arms. Remembering always to stay connected to that smooth, deep, full breath. And let's just bring our gaze up and find a little bit of opening through the front of the throat, through the chest here, and just get familiar with this feeling of openness in the heart center and this extension and expansion from our heart out through our arms. So this actually feels really good if you take one arm and just find this swooping sensation as the arm explores your heart space. This really feels like the heart space. So swimming our left arm here through this heart space as though we're exploring what's there. We're just getting into our fingertips as we do this. Good. And then we're going to release that arm. Let's just let this arm make a little swimming motions at our side. And if you need to bring it down and shake it out a little bit, just to release that. And then when you're ready to let it come back up, let's find this exploration with the other arm. So feeling into the heart space here. That is the expansion through our arms. Good. And then we're just gonna let that arm release, and let's take both arms and let them shake out a little bit. Good. And then we're gonna release our arms and move into the shoulders. Good. And then let's release the shoulders and just draw the shoulder blades together and squeeze them here. Inhaling into the belly and into the heart center here as we squeeze our shoulder blades. Elbows are moving towards one another, and our head is just kind of gazing up, opening through the throat. Good. And then we're just going to release that and soften in the spine as we bring our hands to connect with the ground and just let our head come forward. And taking a deep breath here, or two or three, just feeling a softness in the upper spine, especially, but all through the spine. Whenever we bow our head in like this, it feels like we're connecting with our center, kind of honoring who we are, bowing in towards ourselves. Good. And then we're going to roll back up, letting the head come all the way up. Let's go ahead and inhale the arms out to the side and up overhead. And bringing the arms back. Let's go ahead and exhale. Just let the arms flow back down. As they come down, bringing the arms back, softening a little bit in the spine as we bring our head forward. Palms turn up towards the ceiling behind you. Good. And then inhaling, let's float those arms forward and up overhead. Again, big opening through the whole front side of the body. Exhaling, the arms are going to float down and then float behind you as the palms turn up and the head releases forward. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling the arms forward, they come up overhead. We find a little extra arch in the upper spine, and then we're going to release those arms, floating them back down, letting them float behind you, releasing head forward. Good. And one more. And this time, as we exhale, let's just let the arms come forward, coming forward in a flat back. And then when we can't go forward anymore, we'll just let the arms come all the way forward towards the ground. And then we're going to soften the spine forward into a gentle forward fold here. And allow your elbows to find a soft bend as they melt towards the ground. And when you do this, this allows there to be a softening in the shoulders. With the arms straight, then there might be some tension around the shoulders. So soften and let those elbows become heavy, always looking to find space between the shoulders and the ears. Always checking in with our neck muscles, making sure we're not holding any tension there. As we're relaxing in the forward fold, it might feel good to just bring a little bit of a sway into the head. Back and forth. Good. Connecting with the breath always. Good. And then we're going to press into the hands, walk them back towards our legs, and just allow the body to come back up. Let's change the positioning of our legs so that whatever leg was in front, the opposite one can come in front. And then we're going to inhale the arms up overhead. And then let's just exhale the arms down and let them flow back. We can keep our head up this time. And squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good. In and then releasing, bringing the arms forward. We're going to inhale back up with the arms. And this time we're just going to come forward with a flat back as the arms come forward as well. And then when we then just let the arms continue to find their way towards the ground, and we're going to melt again into a forward fold. Perhaps finding that sway with the head, just a little sway left and right. That movement really helps us make sure we're not holding tension unnecessarily in our neck and shoulder muscles. And always that deep, smooth breath is drawing us deeper into the tissues of our bodies, bringing our awareness a little bit more deeper in connection. Coming back to center. Let's bring our forearms to the ground if we can, and just let the head sink. And then we're going to inhale, lift the head up, bring our gaze forward, and exhale, we'll release that head down. Inhaling, rolling our and bringing our gaze forward. Very subtle movements, but they're really good for us. And slowly and mindfully, good. Just a simple nodding of our head, rolling open, releasing downward. a meditation in motion when we allow our body to move with our breath. Uh, and then we're going to press into our hands and walk them towards our legs. Wonderful. Feels good for me. Oh, let's stretch out our one of our legs here. Let's stretch out our left leg. And we're going to inhale our arms up overhead. And then we're going to exhale to shoulder level. Let's rotate our spine so that this left hand is reaching over that left foot. And then as we are able to, on our exhale, just melting that hand, even if it's just energetic, towards our toes, towards our shin. And then we're going to inhale that opposite arm up. Rotate the palm towards that leg and exhale over that stretched out leg. Good. And just finding a place that feels good to hang out. Breathing here into the whole side body. Good. Oh, yay. How tall can you grow through that arm while also rooting through the right sit bone there? Good. Then let's bring a little bit of flow here. We're going to rotate the spine towards the leg as we exhale. And then as we inhale, we're going to rotate our spine open. Bring that arm up and just back a little bit, opening across that right chest. Good. Exhaling, we flow down. And inhaling, we flow open. We're just finding our own flow with the rhythm of your own breath. It might feel better to have the arm out, more at shoulder level instead of up overhead. We'll try, see how that feels. Inhaling, we open. Exhaling, we deepen into the stretch. Good. And then on your next exhale, let's bring that hand down to the floor and find both hands on either side of our knee. And we're just gonna, we might want to bring the body up a little bit, but just relaxing the head here and breathing. Into the belly, into the waist, low back. Good. And then we can walk those hands up as we sit up tall. And let's just do a little flexion and pointing of that toe, of those toes, of that foot. Good. And then finding a little rotation here for that leg, for that foot and ankle. And reversing. Good. Let's change legs. So we're going to bring in this left leg and the right leg we will stretch out. And first, let's just flex those toes back towards the body and then point, feeling into the calf muscle, into the line of tension through the back side of this leg. And then just check in with the ankle because it was kind of, pinned underneath there for a little while. So a few circles in one direction and then the other. Good. And then let's inhale our arms out to our side. Sitting up tall. And then as we exhale, we're going to release the arms to shoulder level. Let's rotate the spine a little bit so that this right arm reaches over the right leg. And then let's reach those fingertips a little bit over the toes and bring that hand down towards the leg. Inhaling the opposite arm up as we root through the sit bones. And exhaling, we're going to come into a little bit of a side bend here. And breathing, relaxing into the breath. Giving ourselves the time to settle in here. And giving ourselves permission to move in whichever ways feel good as we're settling in. It's always wonderful when as we warm up, our energy bodies start to, become more activated. And when that happens, it's such a good feeling because we can relax more, and as we relax more, the energy of who we are kinda takes over, and it becomes a beautiful, sort of dance of that feels very expressive. Good, so as we inhale, we're gonna float that arm up and then just rotate a little bit so we're opening through that chest, and then exhaling, we're gonna rotate our spine towards the floor. Good, inhaling, we're gonna open and lift. The hand that's connecting to the leg can kind of push a little bit to help that opening, and exhaling, rotating towards the leg. Couple more times. And then let's do it at shoulder level. So opening like a gate. Our arm is long and expressive here. Exhaling, we rotate back towards our leg. Inhaling, we rotate open. And exhaling, we come towards those toes. Wiggle the fingers. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bring our hands on either side of the knee and bring our torso up a little bit. And then just we're going to release here, letting the weight of our head melt forward, releasing through the neck and shoulders. Good. And when you're ready, let's just kind of let our spine unwind as we sit up tall. And we'll bring our both of our legs in front here and just kind of let our knees bounce. Bringing our arms back behind us. If it feels good to come down on your forearms, let's lift both legs off the floor, tucking our chin in a little bit towards our throat, and just connecting with our core muscles here. So we can point the toes, and they're floating a half a foot off the ground. And then from here, let's go ahead and bend our left knee, bringing it up towards our head. And then we're going to bicycle. So changing legs. And we can go ahead and let the knee come out to the side as it comes up. And just back and forth here. If it feels like too much, just don't do it. And then bringing both legs out. If it feels okay to lift both legs up just a couple feet and back down and lifting the whole time we're hovering above the ground. This is a kind of a tough one, so definitely don't do it if it feels like too much, or just stay with the hovering and then release the legs down when it gets to be too much. Then you can kind of lift them off the ground again and release the legs back down. This is a nice way to just slowly connect with the core strength muscles. Yeah, good. Oh, that feels super good. All right, we're going to press back into our hands, bring ourselves up, and we're going to roll over onto our hands and knees. If you would like to have a blanket under your knees, it's a great way to protect your knees. And we're going to just flow here to start with in a fulcrum-like movement where we bring our hips back towards our knees, releasing our head towards the floor, and then coming forward and just back and forth here. These very simple, functional movements are so helpful, keeping us feeling looser, more fluid in our joints, stronger, and also more flexible at the same time. Good. And then let's let our hips melt back towards our heels, coming into child's pose. Maybe we walk our hands a little bit towards our head, and then just release your head down. And if it is too much on the knees, you can put a blanket or a block underneath on top of your ankles or between your feet. And then pressing into the hands, you can lift your head and torso a little bit off the floor and just allow your weight to rock to the left and to the right here. while we're kind of relaxing into a childlike pose. Good. And then coming to the middle, let's go ahead and melt our forehead to the ground and completely surrender, letting go of all sense of efforting or movement, even really melting into the support beneath us and appreciating it. For those moments when we don't feel so supported, the earth, the ground is always there for us to connect with. So coming down to the ground and spending time there, connecting, being held is a really wonderful thing to do. A resource always available, just like our breath. Alrighty, so we're going to come up on hands and knees, bringing our hands underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. Let's do some circles here for our hips. So just finding a nice smooth circling. It can be a small circle or a bigger circle. Feeling into the hip joints. And let's reverse. God, feels so good doing circular motions. All righty. And then let's find cat-cow. This is certainly one of those movements that can be done every day. So good for the spine. So as we inhale, we're going to allow our belly to drop towards the ground while our head and our tailbone lift up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we're gonna press into our hands and knees, bring the belly up towards the front of the spine as we round through the back, dropping our head and tail towards the earth. Inhaling, letting the belly move towards the ground as the head and tail move up. And back and forth here. Definitely letting our breath guide the movement. And one more. And releasing, finding a neutral spine here as we extend through the crown of our head. We pressing into our hands so that we feel that lift across the upper back. Our belly is slightly lifting towards the front of the spine. And then from here, we're going to kind of do another version of that cat-cow. We're going to bring our awareness into our rib cage there in our mid back, and we're going to find a subtle circling here of our rib cage. So that mid back's going to press up, out to the left, down, out to the right, and up through the back. So finding a circling motion here for the rib cage only to start with, but you'll notice right away that it's kind of hard to do this movement without the hips wanting to get involved and also the head. So keeping our awareness on the rib cage, we're going to go ahead and let the hips and the head move into this circling too. And it might feel kind of funny, but it is a wonderful way to help unwind tension that can get built up in the spine. Not to mention just letting us be feeling a lot of different sensations that we're not used to feeling, right? There's usually so much more in the vertical or horizontal plane. So the spiraling nature of these circle emotions can be really good for us. Okay, so we're going to actually, let's try to reverse it. So maybe come to a pause, bring your awareness back to the rib cage, and then we're just going to start the circling in the opposite direction. And very quickly go ahead and let your hips and head roll along. Good. Oh, yay. And then coming back to center, just like one or two cat cows, lifting head and tail. And then exhaling around through the back. Good. All right. We're gonna curl the toes of our left foot and press back as we press into our hands. We're gonna press back through that heel, stretching through the calf. Good. Releasing. Let's curl the toes of the other foot and press back into that heel. May feel like a nice stretch for the bottom of the foot as well. Good. And then we're gonna curl both the toes of both feet. And we're gonna press our hips up as we stand tall, strongly in our arms, coming up onto the balls of the feet. And then we're gonna walk our legs here. So bending into one knee as the opposite foot presses the heel down into the ground, back and forth here. And we're gonna walk the feet to the edges of our mat, and with our knees bent, we're gonna walk our hands towards our toes, finding a forward fold here, bending and straightening our legs a little bit. All the while keeping our head released, nice and heavy. Good. And then when you're ready, standing down into the legs to roll up, stacking hips over, soft knees, stacking vertebra on top of vertebra as you roll all the way up. A little roll of the shoulder blades as the head comes up. And then as the head comes all the way up, let's bring our arms out and up overhead. Big stretch here through the front of the body and exhaling the arms down. Phew. Talk about getting the body warmed up. I am sweating here. I don't know about you guys. All right, let's bring our legs a little bit wide. We're gonna let our arms flow out as we inhale, up overhead once again, and exhaling forward. We can bend into our knees and then inhale, the arms sweep back out. Keeping a soft bend the whole time. Good. Inhaling, floating back up. And one more. Exhaling and inhaling. Good. Hands together, heart center. Let's release our arms down. And again, let's just kind of let the arms flop, feeling that connection. Oopsie, I'm shaking my AirPods out of my ears. So let's again come into the feeling of our arms, our shoulder blades, and just letting the body kind of lean to one side. We're going to shake out that arm, trying to get a sense of that, the shoulder blade becoming looser. So maybe rolling the shoulder as you gently shake out the arm. Good. And then we're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Big inhales and releasing exhales. Good. And then both arms now feel a little bit longer, a little bit looser. Good. All right. Let's do a balancing pose here. So we're gonna first just become a little bit more used to being in this plane of standing up. So we're gonna roll forward onto the balls of our feet and then back onto the heels. A subtle exploration of the soles of the feet, which are, the gateways of where we ground into the earth beneath us. So, and then let's just bounce into our knees a little bit. Also connecting as we root down through the legs. We need that grounding to come into any sort of balancing pose. So now we can practice. We're going to actually spread the feet apart a little bit wider than hip width here. And we're going to practice bending a little bit into your left leg. We're going to bring all the weight into this leg as we start to lift the right leg and bring the toes just to connect with the ground. And then we're going to lift that foot if we can. And we're going to lift the opposite arm. So our right leg lifts and our left arm, and then we're gonna exhale, let that foot extend out and then come down. We're gonna slowly shift our weight into this right leg now, bending into that knee, finding the toes connecting as we begin to lift the left leg off the ground. And then we're gonna just lift that leg and the arm. Good. Exhaling and slowly shifting weight. And finding a smooth movement here. Exhaling, arm and leg float down. We shift weight, we inhale. And we exhale, floating arm and leg down, shifting weight. Always staying in a bend in our knees. Exhaling down. If it feels good to bring the arm all the way up, you can, or you can keep it closer to the knee. It almost feels like we have strings on our knee and our wrist, and that we're like a puppet here, but we're the master of our own puppetry, moving our bodies slowly and mindfully. And just one more or two more here. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to release that, finding the weight balanced between both feet now. And just closing your eyes, feeling the fullness of your belly as you stay connected to the breath, feeling the amount of energy that's been generated here this morning, and just letting the body find its sway as your energy, because your energy is so activated and alive and warmed up, there's a natural sway of energy that may be happening, and it's really nice to go ahead and allow that flow. The more relaxed you are, the more that energy will want to express itself. Good. Let's bring our hands to our lower back, like in the kidney areas. So we're just connecting with our low back here with both hands. And as we breathe into the pelvic bowl, belly, low back, we want to actually feel like our hands are being pushed out. So we want to really fill our kidneys with our breath. So go ahead and explore that for a moment. As we exhale, shoulders release away from the ears. And as you fill the torso with that breath, the lower back, the rib cage, everything flows outward. And as you exhale, you want to kind of draw the belly in. Everything comes into the center. Good. And then releasing any tension before inhaling and filling back up. When we focus on bringing this kind of nourishment to our kidneys, this is very, very helpful for just that vital force, yin energy, like just our underlying essence. Good. And then we'll let our hands come and just settle on our lower ribs, and kind of the same thing. We're gonna Actually, we can just let hear the webbing of our thumb and forefinger kind of settle around the lower ribs, and the rest of the hands can just relax here. And as we breathe, we want to feel those lower ribs flowing outward after the belly fills, and all the way up into the chest. Good. So this is like our chi belt. Good. And then let's just bring one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. And we're gonna let the belly fill, let the rib cage float out, and then let the chest lift at the top of that inhale. And then as you exhale, the chest deflates, the rib cage deflates, and the belly drawing in at the bottom of the exhale. Good. Really grounding in the benefits of our practice and the integration of all the movements here with this wave breath. Also very balancing emotionally. Being with our bodies. Oh, such a good thing. Good. Stay right here and continue connecting with the wave breath if you would like to. Otherwise, we're going to let the arms come down and just float them out as you inhale, up overhead. And then as you exhale, they're just going to, the hands are going to float through the center of your body all the way down and then out again. Flowing right through the center. This is a beautiful movement for balancing all of the centers of our body. So the mind, the heart, the belly. Long, smooth, flow, deep breaths. Moving our arms. And we're feeling there's a soft bend in our knees. And so we're feeling very rooted through our lower body while we are creating this movement with our arms and upper body. And we'll just do one more. This is a wonderful movement anytime through the day to just do a few of these will help us. Okay, stay connected. Good. Next time the arms come down, just let them pause right here in front of the lower belly, the dantian, for a moment, noticing how you feel in the palms of your hands, through the arms. And then as you're ready, just place one hand on top of the other, right over your navel, or just below the belly button and that dantian center, lower center. And feeling your practice here.